Paws and Ping Pong, the tale of Whiskers the champion. In the bustling little town of Whiskerville, there was a famous cat named Whiskers. Now, Whiskers wasn't just any cat, he was known far and wide for his one peculiar hobby, ping pong. While most cats chased mice or took long naps in the sun, Whiskers spent his days bouncing around a bright green ping pong table in his owner's garage, ready to play a game against anyone willing. Whiskers discovered his love for ping pong one rainy afternoon. His owner, Mr. Jenkins, was tinkering with an old ping pong set in the garage. As Mr. Jenkins started to bounce the ball, Whiskers' eyes widened, and his tail began twitching. He'd never seen anything so bouncy in his life. He crouched low, his eyes locked on the little ball, his whiskers twitching with excitement. Then, with a swift leap, he pounced, and batted it right back to Mr. Jenkins. "Oh, Whiskers, you're a natural," Mr. Jenkins laughed. From that day on, the two became inseparable ping-pong pals. Mr. Jenkins even made a tiny paddle for Whiskers to wear on his paw. It was a bit big, but Whiskers didn't mind. Soon, Whiskers was so skilled that he could swat the ball back faster than any of Mr. Jenkins' friends. Word got around town, and soon everyone wanted to see Whiskers the ping-pong cat. But Whiskers didn't just want to be the best in Whiskerville. No, he dreamed of being the best ping-pong player in the whole world. So, he trained every day, batting the ball back and forth, faster and faster, until the sound of ping and pong echoed all through Whiskerville. One day, a big tournament was announced, the Great Whiskerville Ping Pong Championship. The whole town was buzzing with excitement. Kids, grandparents, and even the mayor's dog, Barkley, were all coming to watch the tournament. Whiskers signed up immediately, scratching his name on the sign-up sheet with a quick swipe of his paw. The day of the tournament arrived, and the crowd was packed. Whiskers strutted up to the table with his little paddle tied around his paw, his tail held high. His first opponent was none other than Dottie the dog, a little Jack Russell with a lot of bounce in her step. "Ready, Whiskers?" barked Dottie, wagging her tail. Whiskers just purred, giving her a cool, "I was born ready" stare. The referee blew the whistle, and the game was on. The crowd cheered as Whiskers swatted the ball, his paw moving like lightning. Dottie barked, trying her best, but she couldn't keep up. With a final pong, Whiskers sent the ball sailing past her, winning the game. Round after round, Whiskers kept winning. He beat Bruce the bulldog, who tried to distract him by slobbering on the ball. He outsmarted Penny the parrot, who tried to confuse him by shouting "ping" at random moments. And finally, he defeated Timmy the tortoise, who had a surprisingly strong backhand but was just a tad too slow. At last, it was time for the final match. Whiskers' opponent was none other than Chuck the champion chimpanzee, who had come all the way from the big city. Chuck was known for his banana-fueled speed and crazy spin serves. The crowd gasped as Chuck bounced onto the stage, swinging two paddles, one in each hand. The whistle blew, and the match began. Chuck served the ball with a wild spin, and it zipped toward Whiskers like a rocket. But Whiskers was ready. With a quick flick of his paw, he batted it right back. The ball flew back and forth, faster and faster, until all you could see was a blur of orange fur and flying fur. Chuck tried every trick he knew, he spun, he flipped, he even did a backflip serve, but Whiskers matched him paw for paw. The crowd was on the edge of their seats, gasping and cheering as each point went by. Finally, it came down to the last point. The crowd went silent as Chuck served the ball. It zoomed straight at Whiskers, spinning like a tornado. but Whiskers narrowed his eyes, crouched low, and pounced. With one mighty swipe, he sent the ball flying over the net, past Chuck, and into the corner of the table. Chuck tried to reach it, but he slipped on a stray banana peel, landing in a heap as the ball bounced one last time. Whiskers had won. The crowd erupted in cheers, chanting, "Whiskers! Whiskers! Whiskers!" As he took a victory lap around the ping-pong table, his tail held high. Mr. Jenkins picked him up, giving him a proud scratch behind the ears. Whiskers had done it, he was the great Whiskerville ping-pong champion. And as he basked in the glory, one thing was clear, he was no ordinary cat. Whiskers was a ping-pong legend, and he knew that no matter where he went or who he faced, he'd always be ready for the next great match.